tutorial on layer masks and blend modes. So what we'll need to do is open up Photoshop, and you will need some start files. So you can get these from Moodle, or you can get them from me. And if you go to File and Open, and you should have a folder called Layer Masks and Blend Modes Tutorial. And in there we've got lots and lots of files. So this tutorial is about building up images, layering them up, using layer masks to kind of hide parts of them, and also to overlay images using blend modes. So let's get started. What you need to do is open the file Wash 1 first. And there we go. And what we need to do first is look at what is a blend mode. So, what is a layer mask? So here we go. What we want to do on this file is we want to keep these two areas here, and we're going to hide the rest. So we've got a little icon just here at the bottom of the layers palette, and it's called Add Layer Mask. It looks like a rectangle with a circle in it, and if you click that, you get a layer mask which is added to the layer. Now this is just a white box at the moment, and what you can do is you can use the brush tool and make sure that your foreground colour is black. Okay, and it is quite important actually that it's a true black. You can get a true black by dragging into the corner there. And also make sure that your opacity is on 100% and your flow is on 100%. And as long as you've got that, you can now paint on here, and if you paint in black you will hide things, and you'll see a black patch appear here, and that's actually hiding that area. And if you paint in white, so I want to hit the switch around arrow there, so I've got white in my foreground colour, I can reveal that area again. So it's a really good way of working because you can actually undo any damage you've done. You're not actually permanently deleting anything. So let's now hide everything apart from these two areas. A little tip for this: on your keyboard, rather than keeping going up to the brush size drop down palette and the hardness, what you can do is on your keyboard you have left square bracket and right square bracket. They are much quicker to use. It's much quicker to use that than mess about going up to the top of the tool options bar there. So let's hide this stuff. Let's actually make the brush a bit bigger. And there we go. Computer's a bit slow. Okay, and when I get to these bits here, I'm going to make my brush quite a bit smaller so that I can get around this area without causing any damage. Nearly there. And there we go. That's the bit we want left over. And there's a layer mask. By the way, you need to make sure that when you're doing this you are working on the layer mask. You can see these little borders. That shows me I'm on layer mask. If I click on this, I'm actually on the layer, and if I was to paint on the layer, okay, I was on black and white. If I was to paint on the layer, there we go, I would just paint black onto my actual artwork. So I don't want to do that. Okay, right. Next thing we're going to do then is we're going to open up the file called Girl. So File and Open, and you should see a file called Girl. Where's she gone? Oh, right down at the bottom there. There we go. Annoying. There we go, got it. Okay, what we need to do is copy this file onto the other file. So you need to use the Move tool. Now you can actually drag this tab away and so that you can see both files and then drag and drop, but the easiest way to do it is to click and drag on her and hold it over the tab, wait for that to swap over, and then move down onto the image and then release your mouse button. Okay, so there she is. Right, we're going to actually put her in the middle at the top. Now if you notice, she snapped to the edge of the document. If you look, you can see that that function is there, view and snap. So if that's ticked, it's much easier to get her aligned accurately to the edge. So we used the a layer mask there to actually hide some of that image, and what we can do is we can also use layer masks to blend an image into the background. So let's add another layer mask to this image, and let's get the brush tool again, and let's get a nice big brush, and it's important this time that the hardness is on 0. So if you go up to this little drop down menu, you can see my hardness is on 0. Okay, now what I can do is just run the brush along the edge and get rid of this straight line, which doesn't really suit what we're trying to do. Go over a little bit till that line's pretty much gone. Now if you want to have a very soft fade out, you can take your opacity down. Wait for this to wake up. There we go, take your opacity down. So we could try 50% now. And we could have an even bigger brush. The bigger the brush, the bigger the fade out's going to be. And there we go, we can make that kind of an even more faint fade. Okay, so there we go, we use the layer mask to actually blend that image in. Okay, next what we will do is we will go to File and Open. And the next file we want is Wash 2. Okay, so open that one up. And this time we want to drag this file across. By the way, if you look, these are PSDs with 2 layers, and you can see the cutting out's already been done for you. So now what we want to do is get the move tool again, and we want to click, drag in a red area, because if you drag in the background, it will try and drag the white background, which it won't like because that's locked. Okay, so get a red part of the image and drag that over onto Wash 1, wait on the tab, go back down onto the document and let go. And there we go. And this time we're going to position this about here, and we're going to rub all this stuff out. So we're going to get a layer mask, and we're going to get the brush tool, make that a bit smaller, and this should be quite easy. Oh look, I've left my opacity on 50%, that needs to be 100 again. And that's it. Okay, let's rub this stuff out. There we go. Okay, well, I'll call it a little bit there, that'll be fine. Right, now what we're going to do is go to File and Open, and we want to get Plant 1. Plant 1, so there it is. Open that up. Now most of these files have already been cut out for you, but Plant 1 hasn't. So what we need to do is we need to select the plant. Whenever you see an image like this and it's got a white background, the tool to use is the Magic Wand tool. So for this one, we want to grab the Magic Wand tool and just check our tool options, and you can see the tolerance is on 32, that's absolutely fine. We've got contiguous on, which is important. That means that when we select these whites, we'll just get the whites in those areas, we won't get all the whites in the image. So there we go, that's fine. We can click, and remember to add to our selection, we hold down Shift on the keyboard, or you can use this icon here. Okay, but better to use the keyboard shortcuts, it's faster. So there we go, I'm going to Shift click, Shift click, Shift click. And now we have everything apart from the flower. It's not a plant, it's a flower. I don't know why I called it Plant 1. So we have everything apart from what we want. So we can go to Select and Inverse. When we do that, you'll see the selection swaps around and we've got what we want. We've got the flower. So now we can get the Move tool, click on this, drag over onto Wash 1, drag back down onto the image, and there we go. Okay, so we're going to move this over here. Now, what we actually want is, we want the red splat to be above, oops, hide that, there we go. We want the red splat to be above the plant. So what we've got is we're working in layers here. Now layers are like sheets of acetate with artwork on them. We can kind of move around, we can edit individually, and we can restack as well. So if we want to move this layer above the other layer, it's dead easy. We just click on it and grab. You can see it turns into kind of a fist, a hand that's grabbing something, and move up to the top. You see that line there, and we drop. There we go, we've moved that layer up. Okay, and let's just move it over a bit. The reason I'm able to actually select this just by clicking on it is because I've got auto select layer on. Can you see that can be on group as well, so watch out for that. We want this on auto select layer. That makes it much easier to just click on what we want and move it straight away. Okay, so we've put this over plant 1, and what we're going to do is, let's just zoom in. We are going to look at the blend mode. So at the moment, this is the blend mode. It just says normal on it. It's a drop-down menu. Just click on some of these and see what they do. So that's darken, that's multiply, not much difference there. Lighten, yeah. Overlay. Got all sorts of different things, and they're all mixing in that layer with the other layers in different ways. Okay, now there is a little bit of method to why they're in these sections. These will all make your blend darker in some way. These will make it lighter in some way. These will add a contrast, so it'll be darker and lighter. These, I can't remember for the life of me what they're based on, and these are all about colour. Okay, so have a play. They're very, very useful, and they can give you some good effects. I'm going to leave mine on multiply. So there, that's what mine's going to look like. Okay, next, let's just fit on screen. If you remember, your keyboard shortcut for that is Command and 0. And next we are going to go to File and Open, and we will do green leaves. So open up green leaves, open, okay, and this is another recap on actually using selection tools to cut out. Okay, now layer masks are useful, but you need to remember these selection tool skills that we had. We've got an image that is mainly green, so it's going to be a little bit tough for the Magic Wand tool. But we do have quite a nice edge on this, so hopefully you're already saying magnetic lasso tool, okay, because that's the one we want. So we're going to grab the magnetic lasso tool, and we're just going to click once and drag around the leaf. I've got my frequency on 91, which should be okay for this. I could turn it up a bit, but that's fine. And it's sticking pretty well to the edges. I'm getting close to the top here, so I am going to hold the space bar down and drag and wait for it to wake up. There we go, and I'll carry on. It's going inside the edge there, which is a little bit annoying, but I need to do this quickly, so you can take more time if you want. I'm going to start clicking here just to try and force it to stay on the outside of this till we go, oh, it's not going to do it. Okay, we'll just go with the inside. Okay, we'll go to the edge there and work our way back down. It'll still look okay. Let's click here, making sure it goes with the leaf rather than the branch. And around there. Oh, let's do this quick. Okay. Spacebar, click and drag. A bit more, so we don't have to do it again later. There we go. Start clicking here because there's not much contrast there. Oh, that was alright. And a bit quick and dirty, but not too bad. Okay. And look for the little circle, click and complete. Excellent. Right. Now, if you look, there we go. We need to get rid of these two green areas here as well. So, oh, computer's so slow. There we go. So, if you remember, we can hold down Alt and click, move around these areas. And there we go, we've got rid of that area. Click and drag. Whoa, I have to click to pin it there. Yeah, it's going everywhere. Oh, okay, there we go. So now we should have a decent selection for the leaf. When I cut this one out, I'm going to use Refine Edge. Let's have a look at what Refine Edge does. Let's just zoom out once. Oh no, I shouldn't have zoomed out, I should zoom in actually. Okay, so we're going to Refine Edge, and on Refine Edge we've got a number of options. We've got Smooth, which will smooth out any roughness or little kind of jagged edges that you've got. We don't need that so much actually in this one. And we've got Feather. Feather's very useful. So you can see that Feather gives us just a softness to the edge. We don't want that much softness. If we have it on 0, you can kind of see the pixels and it looks a little bit ugly. If you do take the feather up, even just to 0.5 pixel, 0.7, let's have a look, 0.8. I'm going to go for about one pixel. And am I going to have contrast? Ooh, that makes it quite neat actually. Not too much though. Okay, I'm going to have contrast on about 16 and shift edge. See, that will actually give me even more or less. Now, I am a bit bothered about that area, and it doesn't look too bad on -22, so I'm going to go with that. So we'll say OK, and there we go. Our selection is now refined. The edge is refined, and we can get the move tool, click, drag that across onto wash 1, and we'll pop that on the image there. Okay, and we'll have that coming out of the corner there. Okay, so next let's have a look. Let's go to File and Open, and I'm not going to do much more. I'm going to just grab one more file, and that is graph. And where's that gone? There we go, sorry. Okay, so grab graph, and we'll open that one up. Okay, now what I want is this graph to have a lot more contrast because it's too faint at the moment. So I'm going to go to Image, Adjustments, and Brightness Contrast. Okay, I'm going to take the contrast way up, and I'm going to take the brightness down. Okay, that's more what I want. Ooh, yes, go all the way. Alright, so I'll put contrast on 100 and brightness on -150. I'm going to say OK with that. That's good. Okay, and I'm going to click on that and drag onto wash 1. Wait for it to swap over, which it should do any second now. There we go. Okay, drag that down, and there we go. So we're going to have this, I don't know, about here, and I'm just going to drag it down so it's below the flower there. And I am going to go to Edit and Free Transform, which is Command and T, and I'm going to click on a Distort, and I'm going to grab that handle, distort that way, grab that handle, distort that way, and I might rotate it as well. The other way, like that. Oh, that's good. Okay, hit return to say I'm happy, and I'm going to put a blend mode on that. What does multiply look like? Multiply looks good, so we'll go with multiply. Okay, so my graph is there. So you should have all the files downloaded and have a go at actually opening them, dragging them on, trying different blend modes, using Layer Master to actually hide parts of the layers that you're putting on there, play around with the composition, and see what you end up with. A lot of this kind of work is intuitive, and the great thing about Layer Master in particular is if you have deleted or hidden something rather, you can always get it back. Okay, so thanks for watching and good luck with that.